listen, I know, I know this is very, very late. I apologize. Listen, I mentioned in my video yesterday that I was out of town and I didn't have the ability to do this. Now I'm no longer out of town and now I have the ability to do this. So let's just jump right into it. If you had told me yesterday that Jared Goff would have 3 passing touchdowns, would throw for over 300 yards, and the Lions would win the turnover battle, I would have said, oh, yeah, the Steelers, they got creased, probably. Reality is a crazy thing, isn't it? It's a crazy thing. So, let's talk about the ending first and foremost, because that's what everyone is probably going to be talking about all week. So, obviously, Steelers have the ball. They're up by 5, and Boswell is up to kick a 37-yard field goal. Easy. Except for the fact that he misses it. He misses the field goal. And everyone collectively says, oh no, the Steelers are going to lose this game. That's when I thought it was over. There were many times when I thought it was over. That was just the first one. Because Boz does not miss kicks. So now the Lions have the ball with a little over 2 minutes left. One timeout. Lions are able to get the ball down the field. There's a 4th and 2. The Steelers stop them on, but there's a penalty. Not good. Pass interference penalty. Not good. I think it was the very next play, or maybe the play after. Highsmith gets a tripping penalty. A blatant tripping call. Boneheaded decision in that moment. You can't do that. That's 15 more yards. So now, things don't look good for the Steelers. So, what happens next? The Lions, a few plays later, they get like a 30-yard play to Amon-Ra St. Brown, brings them down to like the 11-yard line. That's when I thought it was over. It was the second time I thought it was over. I believe on the second down, second and goal, Lions score a touchdown, but there's a penalty. Offensive pass interference. Now, I understand Lion fans are upset about it, and I get it. You know, receiver was running his route, defender runs into him, but I mean, I don't know if Kyle Duggar was doing that intentionally to get the OPI or what. I can't imagine he was. That seems pretty stupid to me. But regardless, the receiver did run into Kyle Duggar and hinder his ability to cover Amon-Ra on that play. And it occurred after 1 yard of the line of scrimmage. So, unfortunately, they're going to call that every time. And then immediately after that, the Lions get a false start. Okay. So, there are about, 11 seconds left at this point. Maybe 16, something like that. 16 seconds, I think, we're on the clock at this point. They throw a quick check down to Jahmyr Gibbs. He gets like 7 yards, I think. And then, there was an incomplete pass somewhere in there. It's fourth down. We're at the fourth down, the last play of the game. Jared Goff throws the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's short of the end zone. He is stopped short of the end zone. Jared Goff Amon-Ra laterals the ball to Jared Goff, and he scores. But there's a penalty. There is a penalty, and it is on the Lions. It is offensive pass interference. And look, this was a blatant offensive pass interference. I mean, he shoved Jalen Ramsey 5 feet out of the way. They're going to call that every time. I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you. But let's get into the reason why the Steelers may have won this game. The Steelers barely hold on to get the win against the Lions. They held Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery to a combined 16 yards. A combined 16 yards. David Montgomery went 4 for 14. Jahmyr Gibbs went 7 rushes for 2 yards. The Lions couldn't run the ball. They had no running game. The Lions are built on this running game, and the Steelers were able to shut it down. No Herbig, no Highsmith. Or no Watt, sorry. Highsmith played. That is impressive. They also managed to get 3 sacks on Jared Goff. The front seven was unbelievable. There were also a few batted passes. That was a great game from the defensive front. And so you got to give them credit. You have to give them a ton of credit. As for the Steelers' offense, Aaron Rodgers, he had an okay day. He had, I think, like over 250 yards passing. He had a touchdown through the air to Kenneth Gainwell at the end of the half, which was a crazy play by him. He also had a 45-yard rushing touchdown. Jaylen Warren had 2 45-yard rushing touchdowns. I mean, overall, Jaylen Warren, I think he had over nearly 150 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Gainwell, I think, had over 50 yards. I mean, the offense was great. I have no complaints with the offense. And overall, the Steelers as a whole, even though they almost blew it at the end, I thought they played very well. And Adam Thielen was even getting involved. He had, I think, 4 receptions for nearly 50 yards, if not slightly above. So, I mean, they were getting him involved too. I mean, that's great to see. Now let's get into the not-so-good part. DK Metcalf. Now, I don't know the full details. I was hoping that by the time I would be here recording this, we would know a bit more. We really don't. It's a lot of he said, she said. Metcalf claims that the fan was, saying racial slurs and insulting his mom. I mean, I believe him, but that's only because I feel like even Metcalf isn't that stupid. I mean, it's the same thing I said with Jalen Ramsey earlier in the season when Jamar Chase spit on him. Jalen Ramsey, he has an attitude, but he's not an idiot. You would have to say or do something pretty dang stupid to really get under their skin. So, I believe Metcalf. I do. The fan says that he didn't really do anything wrong, just called him by his name. I think it's a bit more than that. I think he's trying to play the victim here, but again, I don't think it was necessarily smart of Metcalf to do, and we'll see if the league suspends him for it. If I had to take a guess, I'd say probably 1 game. If he does get a suspension, he'll certainly get a hefty fine. But, yeah, other than that, I have no complaints with the game that the Steelers played. They were able to run the ball effectively. They shut down Detroit's running game. I'm beyond ecstatic with how that game went. I really am, and I am surprised to be sitting here today talking about how the Steelers won yesterday. And, I mean, man, that was a crazy game. Now, due to the Ravens' loss last night to the Patriots, the Steelers sit at 9-6, the Ravens sit at 7-8. With 2 weeks remaining, the Steelers they can clinch a playoff spot, they can clinch the AFC North next week, as early as next week. And what needs to happen is either the Ravens need to lose or the Steelers need to beat the Browns. I think both those things are possible. We'll see if Lamar is healthy. We'll see if TJ Watt, Nick Herbig, Isaac Sumalo, all those guys can come back. But yeah, overall, I am beyond happy with how everything went. And we'll see how the rest of the season plays out.